Instagram or something that they wrapped filming, that the reshoots were done. All the filming is a wrap on live action Snow White. So if that's anything that you care about at all, with all of the stuff of Peter Dinklage making himself King of the Dwarves and Rachel Zegler.
I kind of forgot completely about it.
Yeah.
Well, and I remember they don't call them dwarves. They can't call them dwarves in this movie.
Well, he threw a big fit about it on like a podcast. And then I recently watched an interview with the guy that played Hornswoggle in WWE, which is what reminded me about all that stuff. And he was like, dude, little people in Hollywood are not okay. You just took away 7 roles, or potentially more. Because he's like, I'll be a stuntman for someone since I'm like a wrestler and everything. He's like, there's so many jobs that you just eliminated for us. And you spoke publicly on everyone's behalf, and who let you do that kind of a thing. So with that, with Rachel Zegler stirring the pot on everything that she could, making everyone mad and all this stuff. So I can't see that movie making back enough money, especially since I'm sure it costs something for it to be put on hiatus and then come back after so long. What do they do with like set pieces and props and stuff over the course of a year while it's on pause? You know,
I'm sure they just have to destroy it for tax purposes. Write it off and be like, well,
or rent like a whole sound stage to keep it in or something.
Oof.
Anyhow, that wrapped filming. And then the only other thing I really had, I don't know if it's news for anyone else, but when I watched my movie this weekend, there was a trailer for a movie called Here. Have you seen that? It's a new Robert Zemeckis
like here,
movie.
The word here?
Yeah, the word here.
Yeah, or not like
H-E-R-E.
not like this. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. It's a Robert Zemeckis movie, and it has Tom Hanks and Robin Wright. But
I have not seen this.
It's like the camera does not move. The entire trailer, the camera is positioned in one spot. It is here. That's where the camera is. And it shows the earth being formed, dinosaurs, and all manner of prehistoric creature roaming.
So it's a time lapse.
Them being extinct, and then the house being built.
Sounds like a ghost story. Have you watched that?
No. No, I haven't. But there's no ghosts that I know of.
So a ghost story is about this guy and his wife, and he gets killed in a car accident and exists as a ghost in their house and kind of watches her grieve. But since he's a ghost, he outlives her. Clearly, she moves away, but he's stuck in this house, and it goes until the house is torn up and destroyed, and then by the end of days, he's just sitting there. Like, the house gets torn up, and he sees other ghosts in the distance because he's no longer trapped in the walls, and they're all just kind of stuck there staring at each other until basically the end of time.
They can't move and hang out.
They can't leave their space of which they haunt,
even though it's gone.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the camera is totally stationary, but it shows like the house being built, and then it follows Tom Hanks and Robin Wright's like family, and everything that takes place in this room of like them falling in love and then coming home and having their family, and then them being old and visiting, and be like, this was our house and stuff. So you could see the beginning and the end in the trailer, but it's a cool idea of a camera that does not move, and you see everything that happened in like that theater. One spot. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, well,
I hadn't seen or heard anything about it until I saw that trailer this weekend. So,
well, okay. Well, speaking of this weekend coming up, it's 4th of July weekend. A lot of movies coming out. There's some early releases coming out because of the holiday. So July 3rd, getting a day early release. Of course, everybody's expecting this to break the world again because somehow the Minions continue to make money. I don't understand it. I don't understand why people like watching these things and their stupid little yellow butts falling out of their overalls and every absolute goddamn version of this. Like, Every single time I'll sit in a theater when a new Despicable Me or Minions trailer comes out, and one of them goes, and turns around and his butt hangs out, and they go, ah! And everybody in the theater like goes, oh my God, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen. It is quite possibly the stupidest crap I've ever witnessed in my life. But Despicable Me 4, it's coming out, and it's going to make a whole bunch of money. And we'll see if it tackles Inside Out 2, which has been making $1 billion already. So, yeah, I mean, Steve Carell, Will Ferrell, Kristen Wiig coming back, taking your money. God, the Minions, I don't get it. I don't
It's
get
not
it.
for you, bro.
I mean, I get a lot of things that aren't for me. I can see value and merit, but I just don't understand the appeal, the draw of Minions. But anyway, Despicable Me 4 coming out this week. Also coming out is a movie that you're looking forward to.
Yeah, and as you may have found out here at the beginning of the show, in the pre-show, Kill is going to be released here on July 3rd.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's getting its official release everywhere else on the 4th. It's the new Hindi action movie. It's like a brutal, bloody
That's
action
the one in the train,
in
right?
the train.
Everybody's like, there's never been a movie that beat up more guys than this one.
Yeah. Dude, the trailer on it looks really cool. It's like there's a gang or something on this train. They grab this girl, and this dude just goes on brutal rampage through all the train carts to go rescue her. It looks very cool.
It's like Snowpiercer Old Boy.
Yeah, it's like the Old Boy hallway scene for a whole movie.
Yeah. You saw Snowpiercer, right?
No, I've never actually watched that whole thing. I've seen bits and pieces. I haven't watched any of the show.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean,
just
I haven't
pieces
watched
of
the show. The movie's great.
And I've seen
Elderly Child. Now, that's a name in the Twitch I haven't seen in a long time.
Been a while.
My father started collecting Minions figures and all sorts of paraphernalia when the movies got popular. Weirdest midlife crisis I've ever seen. Dina also commenting, those effing boomers love those Minions. Yeah, and that's what I don't get. It's not just kids. And you know the guy the imitation I just made of the person like laughing hysterically at the butt, the little yellow butt, was a grown-ass dude with his girlfriend. And he's like, oh, yeah. And I'm just, what the fuck?
Maybe it's because it's just simple humor.
We're surrounded by simpletons. That's the
Not
deal.
that, but
when a
it's
butt
just-
comes out of a vending machine and the other one goes, ha ha, and like slaps it and it goes, boing, and
It's easy, dumb humor. But yeah, Kill's coming out. That can be your option to watch besides Minions. It looks very cool. I am excited about it. I'm not excited that our local theater has opted to show it a day early instead
on the one
of
day you wanted to see Kalki.
which I'm trying so hard to go see. But I will try to watch both of those, honestly. That's one I've been looking forward to for a while. Kalki's one I've been looking forward to for a very long time. So I will see if I can catch both of those and see if I can convert people over to the Church of Indian Film.
Well, then this weekend, the rest of the weekend coming out in theaters, Maxine. Maxine spelled with 3 X's. How would you pronounce that?
Maxine.
Maxine.
Maybe it's like Xena. I'm like Mazine.
You know, this would have been funny if like Vin Diesel didn't do it first, with Triple X. But this is the new Mia Goth finish of the trilogy, the Maxine's trilogy that they're calling it from Ty West. I watched the first one. It was pretty good. The second one was a little bit eye-rolly for me. This one, I like Mia Goth. She is unsettling in a way that is engaging on screen. And it has that 80s styling that everybody really, really likes. I'll probably go see it. I don't know what... I mean, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this,
Isn't she supposed to be the old lady from the first one?
She's all of it. Yeah, that's the kind of the thing. She's playing different characters in these movies, but she's the star of all these movies. Does that make sense? So
Okay.
in the first one, she plays this character that goes to this farmhouse.
She's a porn
and
actress.
she's like a porn, sort of a porn actress. They're filming a porn. They're not like, they're not super professionals. But this old lady who's a mega creep is there, and at the end of that movie, the next movie is about the creepy old lady when she was young, also played by Mia Goth. And then this one is set into the future.
Right.
And I'm not quite sure if she's playing a different person or she's just the grown-up version of the character from the first movie. I don't know. We'll see. The trailer does not necessarily, let it be told. But it's, again, about an aspiring a porn actress or adult film star, as we'll call it that. So, that movie's coming out. I like Ty West. I think he's pretty good, but I wasn't a big fan of the second movie. It just didn't do something for me. Pearl was the name of that one. But House of the Devil is still one of my favorite movies to recommend people when they're like, ooh, I want a kind of an interesting horror movie I've never heard before. Watch House of the Devil. It's great. Ty West is a competent horror director, but that's coming out. Also, Boneyard with Mel Gibson and 50 Cent. This movie, I don't know how much of a theatrical release this is going to get, but maybe if there's nothing else in your theater, you'll get Boneyard. We'll see. And then also Dead Whisper, another horror movie that, again, I don't think you're probably going to see it in a market unless you don't have anything else going on. It's probably going to hit Shudder pretty quick because we've got a very, very stacked theater lineup right now. So, and then it's only going to get more stacked as the month continues. So that's what's coming out in theaters this weekend. We're probably he's gonna go try and see Kalki. I'm gonna go probably maybe see Maxine, and maybe I would like to go see Horizon. There's a lot of things that are coming out in theaters that I need to catch up on that I still haven't. But cross that bridge. All right. You want to talk about some movies we did see?
Well, sure.
Let's talk about Horizon. Let's start it up.
Yeah, let's do it. Well, since you just mentioned it, the shortest review possible is go see it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All 3 hours of it?
Yes. 3 hours is not long for a movie anymore, and I hate when people say that still. It irks me for some reason because everyone's like, oh, but it's 3 hours long. Same thing with all the Indian movies. Like, oh, but they're so long. It's like
people are like, 3 hours long. Yeah. I'm going to sit home
2.5 to 3 hours.
Season 1 of The Boys.
Yeah, it's like, how many movies are you watching that are 3 hours? Oppenheimer was forever long. All of the Marvel movies are forever long. Even the most simple Marvel movies, like each Spider-Man movie is 3 hours long. It's not a big deal to have a 3 hour long movie anymore. It's not going to be on 2 VHS tapes like Titanic. It's not a chitty chitty bang bang style thing. Like, you're going to be able to sit through 3 hours of movie. It's not a big deal. But yeah, the short things, go see it. You said you want to go see it. Dina said that she's made plans with her family to go watch it on the 4th. It is worth watching. So with that out of the way, I went and saw Horizon. It is a modern Western, but the parts that it does best is that it feels like a classic Western. It feels like a John Ford Western.
Okay.
It has elements of How the West Was Won. That's going to be the easiest comparison to it because it's a saga, and it tells you that in its title, right? It's not just that it's 4 movies. Luckily for us, the second one of which is releasing August.
Why he chose to make it a movie and not a series?
It may have been just as well to be on a premium platform like Max or Stars or whatever. But there's something to it being a movie. The easiest comparisons are definitely How the West Was Won or Lonesome Dove or something like that, because this is very much a saga. It's a story that has multiple characters and multiple storylines taking place at different times in different places, different territories across the West. They have Wyoming and Kansas and wherever Horizon is, because Horizon is the name of
a place
of this yet to be established city.
Okay.
That is everyone's
in the West.
it's manifest destiny. It's where everyone is heading. It's where they want to be. It's the promise of a future and a better life for them. So everyone's converging to Horizon, despite all of the downfalls and like all of the bad luck that it has, which is Native Americans just wiping it off the map completely, multiple times over. But
Good.
part of it is too that you have like the army, and they're trying to warn people away from this, and they're like, we cannot protect you here. You're outside of the jurisdiction of what the United States Army can do to help. And they're like, we can't stop. And people are like, yeah, man, these wagon trains are going to keep coming. Everyone's going to just continue to move here because it's the promise of future, and you can't take that away from
like Fayetteville.
These American people. Yeah.
All these Dallas people coming in with their wagon trains, moving in, taking our land.
Fair, but
can we fight them?
You get to.
Does the Army have jurisdiction here?
You get to have stories of Kevin Costner's character is this guy who's just like a cattle hand type guy,
An everyman,
and he happens into a situation that is accidental, but he is thrust into it and has to be the hero. And so he escapes with this woman to protect this baby that these people are trying to steal or kidnap or murder or all of the above. And then there's the peoples of the town of Horizon who are left homeless and with no future, that are all taken in by the army. And they split into two camps of they go with the army to be protected and still try to find their way, or they go to hunt down the native peoples that killed their friends and their family and burned their homes and took everything from them. And then at the same time, you have this whole like wagon train storyline of people crossing Kansas, and everyone's converging on Horizon. So it's good.
The one thing, and this is not necessarily about this movie, but it's about Westerns in general, and something that always drives me nuts is like, obviously it's in the West. The West is a lot of deserts, a lot of hot, arid climates, and it's summertime here, right? We just had our Pride Parade this past weekend, and I go out and I'm a guy that wears pants. I wear a lot of blue jeans, right? I wear pants. I wear a short sleeve shirt and pants out in the summer heat, and they're like, "Why, you're crazy for wearing pants in this heat? What's wrong with you, you mutant, you backwards insane person? It's summertime." And you look at these Westerns, and they're like, back then they were wearing like 3-piece suits with like leather dusters and hats and bandanas and scarves and wool like cardigans and ponchos, and it's 100 degrees. Let people wear what they want to wear when it's summertime.
If you get into like desert cultures and stuff, they are always fully clothed because protection from the sun. And at some point, the shade that it creates is more important than the
that's right.
And stuff like that. Anyhow, we got a couple of questions
totally
here.
Derailed,
Movie Albert asks, is Horizon violent? Extremely. You watch people have their brains blown out just across the room and splattered on people. You watch the scalps of people be brutally severed and then slung from them. There is quite a bit of violence here, but it's all to maintain some sort of accurate portrayal of what this frontier life was, what life in territories was for people at this time.
A lot of front kicks.
Yeah.
In the trailer, at least.
Everything is very good. It's very accurate. You get to see two sides of the story for almost everything. Like you see the native people brutalized, like these people that are trying to settle the West, but at the same time, you get to have them go back to their encampment and explain why they did that, because not all of them feel that same way or that they should have done that. So they're like, this is not how we should be. We should be more welcoming, or we should try and coexist. And other people are like, no, we can't, because they'll just take it from us. But then you see all of like the people moving that direction, and they use that as more reason to not coexist. And then there's some people that forgive the people that have harmed them, and others that don't. But in the end, it's a very human story. is the whole thing, and you get it from multiple perspectives, and it feels like classic westerns. It feels like The Searchers, or it feels like The Horse Riders. It feels The Horse Soldiers. It feels like any insert covered wagon movie here type thing.
Wagons East,
but no, more polished and reflective upon the people involved in all aspects. Not, you see good sides and bad sides of everybody, and it's a lot of fun. The only part comes with kind of what's going on in the comments here is that a lot of people are saying that it should have been a TV series or something, a mini series like Lonesome Dove, rather than a movie saga. Because as it is right now, this is going to be 4 movies. Originally,
12 hours.
Yeah, originally set to be 2 or 3. It was stretched to now 4. This one came out this past weekend. The next one comes out August 16th. Yes.
But if you think about
so
it,
we
that's
don't
only
have to
like
wait that
12
long.
hours. That's only like one season of TV.
Yeah. We don't have to wait that long for the next movie. But the bad part about that is that at the end of this movie, 0 resolution of anything.
So my mother, and she went and saw it, and I asked her what she thought about it, and that was her biggest complaint. Is she was like, yeah, it was a 3-hour movie, and it just ended. There's no resolution.
It ends on like this up note for everyone, right? It ends on that note of everyone has hope, right? Like the native peoples have split into the ones that follows have split into their different bands of like, we're going to start our own civilization, or like we're going to make our own camp here, but we're going to be violent and brutal to these people. We're going to keep them out of our territory. And then these other ones that are like, we have to find a way to coexist. But it's not like a let's go kill them. They're like, this is for the betterment of us. And so they have their like upswings. And then it has the people moving to Horizon, and they're like, we're going to go make this a thing, right? And it has like the army who is like, we're going to protect these people. And then it has like Kevin Costner's character who's like, I got to do what I can to protect these people. It all has this like emotional upswing that it ends on. And then it has this montage of what to expect in the next movies, which was very much like a TV type of thing to it.
Yeah.
I appreciate that it's in the theaters. I like that it is a theatrical release.
James on Facebook says that he doesn't see part 1s in theaters. He'll just binge those later.
I think once part 2 comes out, it'll be a lot better to watch part 1 and then see part 2. But that's one of the things.
And who knows? Maybe part 3 and 4 will be on streaming.
It's a short release window, so from June to August, you don't have to wait that long, which is the good part. And I feel like part 2 is going to have some sort
resolution
of
in the
ending.
middle. Yeah, for sure.
And Kevin Costner's already said that this is something that the Tale of the West is like at least a 300-year span of people interacting and building what would become America on that half of the continent,
Yeah.
So I feel like he'll be able to wrap it up somewhat satisfactorily at the end of 2 for what he's trying to do, because all of this is going to continue to progress. You're going to follow these characters through time, through Civil War time, through the golden age of the West, probably into like the early 1900s and stuff like that. I think you're going to be able to see the progression of the West from the 1860s to the early 1900s. And all that. So don't let that throw you off. It's a very good movie. I can't wait for part 2.
Well, right on. Well, it's in theaters right now. You can check it out. I'm sure a lot of people will probably see it this holiday weekend. Definitely seems like kind of an appropriate 4th of July movie, about America.
And Vince said it was a 4-part series, thought it was 3. Yeah, they extended it to 4. So right now it stands at 4 movies. There have been interviews that make it sound like it could be more. Ideally, it will stop at that 4.
Well, moving on before we run out of time, I saw A Quiet Place, day 1. making a lot of money right now in the box office. Everybody is saying it's lifting the 2024 box office curse on horror movies. Wow, it made so much movie, almost $100 million globally in its first weekend. Yay, it did it. This movie must be so good. This movie fucking sucks. Like, I hated this movie. I hated this movie so much, and it was so pointless and so boring. And, just good God, man, this movie. This is a sequel or a prequel that absolutely nobody asked for, that lended itself to absolutely nothing to the betterment of the narrative of this world. It didn't build upon the lore of these monsters, didn't give any reason or explanation for why we needed to tell this story. It was just like, oh yeah, these monsters that well, here they are in New York City, man. And now we're gonna have a cat that's cute in it, and everybody loves Lupita. We're gonna put her in there. Jimon Hansu is freaking cool for all of 5 seconds. He's in this movie, and then everyone's like, everybody loves Joseph Quinn, Stranger Things, man, rock and roll, dude. I wanted to strangle him this whole movie. His character sucked so bad, just this little bitch that wouldn't leave. And this movie sucked. This movie was just absolute boredom fest. It starts off, it's like, oh, Lupita's character, she's got cancer, she doesn't want to die, and it's like, it's not about the monsters, it's a character driven piece about a woman who doesn't want to live, and this guy teaches her the meaning of life, and she teaches him how to be brave. And it's like, no, fuck that, this movie's stupid. It's about aliens that inexplicably hear everything but also nothing at the same time, and come to this planet for the whole reason of shutting it the fuck up. Like, that's all they have, that's all they want. They don't even eat people, they just run around and they go, noise is bad, stop it. I don't know, like
our radio signal sent into space just pissed them off that bad.
And they're just they're just coming around, and they just came to this planet, they fell from space, and if it makes a noise, turn it off. But if it's like, I don't know, if it's like natural animal noises, that's fine. If it's like fire noises, that's fine. If it's rain noises or water noises, that's also fine. If it's a monster running down the street, tripping on everything, breaking glass and knocking over cars, you know what, that's fine. We somehow know that monster is making that monster noise, so that's fine. And then there's just happens to be enough monsters that there is always one within 1 second distance away from you, like queefing too loud and it running around a corner and just biting your head off. This movie's so stupid, and if you take more than 30 seconds to think about what's happening on screen, you will hate yourself for sitting in this theater. But James said I related most to the monsters. Yes. This movie, the only interesting character was the cat, and the cat was also the most improbable cat on the planet. This cat was totally cool with being carried around all the time, getting completely dunked in water. They grab the cat and jump in a river and then go in through the sewer system. The cat is fully submerged underwater, totally knowing how to stay calm and hold its breath for at least 2 minutes while they swim to surface, and then it comes out and it's like, doesn't say a word, doesn't meow or nothing, and it's like, all right, and then just keeps on going. Man, but the cat was cool. The cat was the only part that you're like, I wish that this movie, okay, here's the thing that would have made this movie really cool. There was a scene in the movie where the cat is like the spirit animal of this whole movie. And the cat wanders off away from Lupita's character Samira, who's like a poet who doesn't write poetry anymore because she hates life because she has cancer. Oh, it's so deep. They thought so hard about this character, and then she writes a poem right at the end. Yeah. So this cat leaves her and goes and wanders away and finds the character Eric, played by Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things, right? And the guy is completely just mentally PTSD toasted. He is scared to death, and he sees this cat, and the cat comes up to him and makes him feel safe, right? And I was hoping in my heart of hearts that was the end of the Samira character. The cat just went over, and here's a new character that's just completely scared to death in the city trying to survive. The cat interacts with him, and I'm like, oh my God, what a cool movie if the cat is the main character and the tie between these people that are just trying to panic and survive, which will all eventually die because, I don't know, we've seen the other 2 sequels to this movie. And I'm like, wow, okay, maybe they're going in some really interesting direction here. And it's just a series of people trying to survive, and this cat's just kind of walking around in this planet that's about to be destroyed. No, the cat guides him back to Samira, and they're the most unlikable, unwatchable on-screen duo that you just want to hate. There's a cute pizza scene there. She's like trying to go get pizza, even though she knows that the pizza place is dead, but she's got cancer, so she's not thinking. And yeah, fuck this movie. Like, and it made all the money, and everybody's like, oh, it's so great, go see it, it's a masterpiece of horror. Like, do not associate the fact that the first Quiet Place was good, we liked it, and then 2020 came, like 2018, and then 2020 was the second one that was maybe only because it had Cillian Murphy in it, and then, but still, that was more of like, less about the aliens, more about the people. This was just New York monsters, and it reminded me of everything that I hated about I Am Legend with Will Smith. Really bad CGI Demogorgons from Stranger Things, you know, like, because I Am Legend had really bad, like,
vampire
Emotep from the Scorpion King or whatever, just like super shitty CGI. But it was 10 years later.
Yeah, where it opened its mouth and everybody just scream at him.
Yeah, in New York, and if you fart wrong, they're all gonna hear you and come eat you. And like this movie,
that's true. What's the lore in universe of Quiet Place if someone has like the shits?
Yeah, I mean, you just rip one, and it's like, you're dead, dude. You know, and that was the oh man, and New York has so many just noises. Just the planet has so many noises, like. Trees make noise, you know, a stick falling makes noise, you know, like everything's making noise, but they act like, oh, one noise is you're gonna die. If these creatures could hear, you know, you like sneeze from 6 blocks away, when they are face to face with you, those motherfuckers are probably gonna hear your heartbeat or your breath or, I don't know, any part of your stomach go. You know, like, you're gonna die if they heard you toot from like 3 blocks away in New York. Like that, when you try to think about this movie, it becomes so stupid. And please don't make another one of these. Please, just please. And I'm pretty sure at the last part they used a piece of like early 2000s tech. It was like an iPod Nano. And she put it on like a charging dock, but then was carrying the thing away, and it was somehow working because I think they forgot that rechargeable battery packs for boomboxes and like that didn't happen until about 8 years later. And they were like, oh yeah, you know, you just take it away, and then everything recharges everything. It's like, no, it didn't. Not in 2002, it didn't. But anyway, this movie just has no idea what it's doing, except for the fact that it knows that everybody likes these Quiet Place monsters and let's make money. And they did. They made $52 million at the box office just domestically this weekend. I mean, $100 million made worldwide. Like, we're doomed. Anyway, that's my review of A Quiet Place Day 1. Don't go see it. It's stupid. So mad at that movie.
Poop on celluloid.
Yes. Yes. You want to talk about the box office?
Sure. Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Jake's going to give you the box office report for June 20th through 30th, 2024. We're going to talk about the top 10 movies in America. Going to give you domestic numbers mostly. We'll throw in some worldwide numbers from some of these bigger releases. Follow the money is generally, like I was just saying about Quiet Place. If you see these movies making money, you know we're going to get another one. You know we're going to get another sequel. It's not necessarily about the quality of movies. It's about how much money they make. It's Worthington's Law. So, Jake, go ahead. Take it away. Number 10.
Yeah, number 10, Jat and Juliet 3, whatever that is, only in 141 theaters, and it did better than movies below it and so many more. 1.5 million brought in by that one.
It's another
it's an Indian
Punjab.
movie.
Yeah. And, I mean, the theater average on that was rowdy.
Yeah, well, how about that? I hadn't even heard of that one, and it's a 3. So apparently, there's more than one of those. And then above it at number 9, climbing from the number 13 spot, Kinds of Kindness, which we actually had in one of our theaters here.
I didn't even realize I would have gone and seen it.
They had like one showing a day, but we do have it here local.
It's only in 490 theaters right now.
Yeah, well, and we got one of them. $1.6 million brought in by it, and it's 2 weeks out. So far, it's brought in $2 million. We'll see if it continues to climb as it adds theaters and people find it as an option to go see. Coming at number 8, steep fall from the number 4 spot, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. $1.8 million brought in by that one, and it's 8th week out. $168 million. Now, they had mentioned that they were very happy with the kind of money it made. I feel like it ending its run at only $170 million in the U.S. after 8 weeks is not what they would want.
I mean, it didn't even hit 400 million yet.
Yeah,
so.
it made $250,000 across the globe, so bringing it up to about 400. I wonder if it's still a success. And then at number 7, Garfield, that one brought in $2 million in its 6th week out from Sony, bringing their total up to just under $90 million for that one. 150 across the rest of the world. I like how everyone in the world likes Garfield more than us.
Except us. We're like, yeah, who cares?
$240 million for that one. Quit making Chris Pratt the lead in animated movies, I guess. And then at number 6, The Bike Riders, 3.3 brought in by that one. In its 2nd week out, it's only brought in 16.2 million.
A big drop from last week. It was number 3 last week.
Yeah, so I guess we'll see where that one goes. Wasn't expecting it to have that little after all the trailers and the swap from Disney to Focus and all that type of thing. But that one might end up being really popular on streaming. And then coming in at number 5, opening in the 5th spot, Kalki 2898, $5.47 million brought in by that one. It's only in 1,000 theaters. The 3 of them that we had local, I couldn't get in to see it. So
it was only, and they were only showing like 2 or 3 shows a day, so it was tough to get into.
Well, when it's a 3-hour-long movie and it's not a Disney stamp on there, tough to give them more than that. But then at number 4, dropping from the number 2 spot, Bad Boys Ride or Die. $10.3 million brought in by that one. It's at 165 and a quarter in its 4th week out in the U.S. Similar money across the globe. Yeah, 166. So it's made 330 worldwide. Not bad on that one. That one's actually that one's a fun movie if you have not
more
had the
fun
chance to
more
see
fun
it
than
yet.
I anticipated.
Yeah, a lot better than part 3, up there with part 2. And then opening at the number 3 spot, Horizon: An American Saga, Chapter 1 of 4, $11 million brought in by that one. So hopefully that continues to do well. I know Kevin Costner in early interviews as it opened said that the opening box office is not where it's going to make its money. He knows that. I think he definitely anticipates it to be a slow burn, and as people in the comments have mentioned, they want to make sure that they can see more chapters of it in quick succession rather than wait for it. So I think as more parts of it comes out, more people will continue to watch the earlier parts to get the whole story. So might be interesting to keep an eye on. And then opening at the number 2 spot, the one you just talked about, A Quiet Place, Day 1, $52 million brought in by that. Another 45 across the globe, bringing it up to just under 100 million total so far. And then holding the top spot, keeping everyone away from that, $57.5 million brought in by Inside Out 2. It has made $470 million in the U.S. alone in, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
And then it's made another $550 million the world over. So it has crossed $1 billion in 3 weeks.
A moment of silence for integrity. Like, God dang. Okay. All right. And then it's got Despicable Me 4 to contend with next week. So get ready for that. It's going to be the battle of the animated movies. But yeah, that's your box office.
James on Facebook there says, poor Kevin, Waterworld all over. This one's a lot better than Waterworld. I like Waterworld, but this is a much more interesting movie than Waterworld.
I don't know. I like Waterworld. But all right, guys. Well, that is our show. Thanks for tuning in. Do not forget to like, follow, and subscribe wherever it is you like to follow and subscribe. Vince just dropped a URL to our link tree. You go to www.driveinspeakerbox.com. It'll give you all sorts of fun links to our Discord, our YouTube, our Facebook, Spotify, wherever it is you want to get on board. And speaking of our Discord, tonight is movie night. We're going to be running these every couple of weeks. Our Twitch mod and Discord mod, Vince is going to be running that promptly right after the show if you want to jump in there. Tonight's film is Galaxy Quest. We're going to be watching that over on our Discord. Great science fiction parody film if you've never seen it. If you love things Star Trek, if you love Star Wars, if you love just science fiction in general, like Galaxy Quest is a fantastic movie.
And it's consistently voted by Star Trek fans as one of the best Star Trek movies.
It's so good. And, it has the late, great guy whose name I just forgot.
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman, yes, thank you.
Yeah, it has Tony Shalhoub, Alan Rickman, Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver.
Of course.
It has, what's the dude that dances in every movie he's in?
Yeah, I'm bad with names tonight, but he's in it.
He's in it.
But yeah, check it out. It's going to be over on our Discord. The link is right there in the comments. Also, you can just go to driveinspeakerbox.com, which not the drive-in, just driveinspeakerbox.com, or linktr.ee/driveinspeakerbox will take you there as well. Get in on that Discord, watch that movie. It's going to be starting very soon. So anyway, that's it. As always, your host, the Boom Operator.
I'm the Grip.
And we will see you guys in the Discord.
As you leave the theater, folks, please be careful. Don't let this happen to your car. Be sure to remove the speaker before you leave. If you should accidentally pull a speaker loose, please turn it in at our snack bar or box office. Thank you.